pastor. Bernard Polite pulled a gun on Pastor Glenn Germany, and miraculously, the gun jammed. Pastor Germany was in the middle of preaching and live streaming during North Braddock service when Bernard Polite jumped over a barrier and pulled a gun on him. This is nothing but a miracle. Polite stated that God told him to shoot Pastor Glenn Germany, and he wanted to return to jail.
Yeah, Chandy, that's right. Pastor Glenn Germany was in the middle of delivering a message to his congregation when a man suddenly jumped up and pointed a gun directly at him. The entire ordeal captured on camera, and we do have that video tonight, but we do need to warn that the video may be disturbing to watch.
And God had chose.
Jesus! This video was taken inside Jesus' Dwelling Place Church in North Braddock Sunday morning. The church live streamed its sermons and captured the moment a man pulled out a gun and aimed directly at Pastor Glenn Germany. That gun jamming.
I'm thankful to God that I'm still here because he definitely pulled the trigger.
Pastor Glenn telling Pittsburgh's Action News 4 he had never seen the gunman before today. He tells us he noticed the gunman frequently coming in and out of the church, even giving the pastor eye contact. That's when the unexpected happened.
I started to begin to preach, and all of a sudden, from my left-hand side, I seen him move from the back to the front of the church, and he sat up in the front corner of the church, and he smiled at me. When he got halfway through and he came to this point here, all of a sudden, I just seen a gun pointing right at me, And at that point, all I can do is try to run for cover.
Church members quickly jumping into action as Pastor Glenn took cover. One man even jumping to tackle the gunman. He was eventually able to remove the gun from the man's hands.
He could have lost his life in that struggle, but he sacrificed himself for everyone, and he's the hero.
Now, coming up at 11, we hear from that man that Pastor Glenn refers to as a hero, the man who actually jumped the banister to tackle that gunman.
When the police searched Bernard Polite's home, they found a dead body.
And now on your screen, we're getting our first look at the suspect, 26-year-old Bernard Polite. Adding to the investigation, police say a body was found in his home. Here's Pittsburgh's Action News 4 reporter Ava Rash with all the details.
A man is now in custody after police say he tried to shoot a pastor in the middle of the sermon, and just hours later, a body was found in that suspect's home.
And God had chose.
Chilling moments caught on Jesus Dwelling Place Church's live stream yesterday as a gunman walks right up to Pastor Glenn Germany, pulls out a gun, and tries to shoot him. By some miracle, the gun jammed.
I'm thankful to God that I'm still here because he definitely pulled the trigger.
They had a male come in and confront the pastor with a firearm. Patrons currently have the male held down and the firearm away from him.
Clarence McAllister, the church deacon and cameraman, had just enough time to jump into action, taking down the suspect.
I'm just grateful that, God seen it, that nobody got hurt, especially when the guy had the gun pointed directly at his head.
Police identified the gunman as Bernard Polite from North Braddock. According to the criminal complaint, Polite told investigators God told him to shoot Pastor Germany, and he wanted to go to jail to clear his mind. That's when the story takes a turn. Just hours later, around 8, the Eastern Regional Valley Police Department was called to the 500 block of Stokes Avenue for a man shot. According to the medical examiner, Derek Polite, who neighbors say is related to Bernard, was found dead inside the home. Investigators say Bernard also lived in that home.
Never nothing bad. Nothing bad has ever happened in that home. Never. No domestic violence, no fights, no argument that we know of, that we could ever have heard, or we would have heard it.
Neighbors were shocked at the turn of events, none of it making any sense. Benjamin Jordan, who lives right next door, says the two were always nice and there were never issues.
I hope it ain't Bernard. That's all. I just hope it ain't him that did that because he was just such a nice guy and also Derek.
And while neighbors have a lot of questions, at this point, no charges have been filed against Bernard in connection to Derek's death.
Bernard didn't seem like that type of guy, but the evidence is looking at him. I mean, it looked like it's him, but I don't know. I can't really say. I'm just hoping and praying it wasn't.
and Polite was denied bond. He's now at the Allegheny County Jail. For now, reporting in North Braddock, Ava Rash, Pittsburgh's Action News 4.